Hi, it's Ms. Ayers. This video is about preparing the first draft of your research paper. So as you can imagine, this is going to be really exciting. Not DOL exciting, but pretty darn exciting. So enjoy, fellas. Okay, so let's talk about what you are required to have for your first draft. Basically, you need to have the body of your paper. So, the whole research section of the paper you need to have. You also need to have your works cited page. That's going to be really important. And remember, your works cited page is basically your bibliography. It's all the works you cite within your paper. Also important is note that your introduction and conclusion are not required on the first draft. Obviously, they'll be required on the final draft, but for this draft, you don't have to have them. So let's talk about the body of your research paper, which should be most of your work on your first draft. A huge portion of the job will be citing the sources of your research. And not citing sources is the fastest, easiest way to flunk your research paper. So if your goal is to fail the paper and you don't want to waste a lot of time doing it, then I would suggest not citing any sources. If, however, you would like to pass this paper and maybe even do well on it, you're going to need to do this very, very well. So let's pay attention. In your research paper body, you will be giving a lot of parenthetical citations. Let me explain what those are. They are sources given in parentheses after the information. And so, parentheses are these little things. Okay, parenthetical citations are not to be given only at the end of a body paragraph. They should appear throughout a paragraph. Basically, you should provide a citation every time you're giving information that didn't come from you, information that instead came from one of your sources. Parenthetical citations are identified by the first element on the works cited page. So out of all the information you have to give on each source of the works cited page, what appears in the parenthetical citation should be the thing that comes first on the works cited page. Consequently, having your works cited page in alphabetical order is a must. That's why I've been on your case through all the drafts of your bibliography to have your sources alphabetized. Okay, all this stuff sounds simple enough, but let me show you how this actually works. So what I have here is a screenshot of a real paper from one of my students several years ago. This is an AP research paper. If you take a look at just the image I have of this student's paper, you will probably notice that he's cited a couple sources here. He cited a source from Krieger on page 276 and Hagopian on page 272. So I've found these parenthetical citations, these citations in parentheses after he's presented information. So what I'm going to do now is turn to this kid's works cited page and see how well they match up. Here I have a screenshot of his works cited page. So the sources I found within the text were sources from Krieger and Hagopian. So when I read your research paper and I see a source cited inside the paper in parentheses, I'm going to flip to the works cited page and look for it there. That's why alphabetical order is really important. And so here I see, oh yeah, he had Krieger first, and there's Krieger, and then he also had Hagopian, there's that guy. And that's right here is where all this information is if I want to verify what he has cited within his paper. Now, it gets a little bit goofy when you have multiple consecutive citations from the same source. Let me show you what I mean. So let's just say for a minute that I happen to be writing a research paper about the Odyssey. Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense, but just work with me. So let's say this is an excerpt from my paper on the Odyssey. So I'm writing, when Odysseus is at sea, the, quote, clothes from Calypso weighed him down. My source author is Homer, and my page number is 67. So that's what I have in the parenthetical citations. And then I go on to say, his bad luck continues when he, quote, began to hear the surf thundering up against the rocks. Now, the last attribution I had was from Homer, and so is this one. So I am not going to give Homer's name again. I'm just going to give the page number, which means this is still Homer. This is still the same source. And I'm going to do this whether my source is quoted material or paraphrased material. Whenever I give consecutive citations in a row from the same source, I'll give the source name the first time, and then after that, I won't until I switch to another source. So I hope this is clear. It's a little tricky. As I record this video, I can hear your objections already. Fellas, we're not going to freak out. I can already hear you saying, but Ayers, I don't have any author names on my works cited page, or I don't have very many of them. Fear not. Here's what you do. Then just give the article name, or whatever happens to be that first element of the citation on your works cited page. So whatever comes on the top line, farthest to the left, that's what you cite in the parentheses along with the page number. But I have mostly web sources. I don't have any page numbers. Yeah, I'm making fun of you. Then just give the paragraph numbers. So let's say the name of my article, and I didn't have an author name, my article name was How to Help. And the information I am incorporating into this particular part of my paper comes from paragraph 3. So for my parenthetical citation, next to that information, I would give the first element of the works cited page and the paragraph number, and you abbreviate that by PAR period and the number of the paragraph. Yeah, there might be some counting involved. But what if it's like information from a chart or something, and so there's no paragraph? Then there's a special abbreviation used for that. It's N period PAG, which literally means no pagination or no page numbers. So that's all you do if you're not going to give a paragraph number or a page number. If you'd like to review all of this in writing, in a more standard format, just consult page 4 of the purple packet for the research assignment. That's also on the portal in the resources tab. So all that information is available there. And finally, as we've talked about at length in class, you want to organize by categories, not by sources. So it'd be a real mistake if in each paragraph all the information came from the same source. That would tell me you were organizing by sources. You weren't really thinking about your ideas for organizing. So I should expect to see multiple citations from multiple sources within most paragraphs. Okay, guys, I think that covers about everything. Good luck with your first drafts. It's only worth 10 points, and we'll see how they turn out.